cheese, both the cheese place?
She's both online and a cheese place.
Well, I lived here. I grew up in Coeur d'Alene and moved away when I was about 30 years old, and I come back a couple times a year. And now I bring my son with me, and he and his son, but he's not with us today. But so it's just always been a tradition to come in here and eat when I come back to town.
Sioux City, Iowa resident Ken Branvale and his son Craig are like many others before them, destined to come back again and again, bent on enjoying a hamburger that is unapologetically stripped down to the basics. For 99 years and counting, Hudson's Hamburgers has graced the streets of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and etched itself into the community by serving up quality and consistency from day one. Owned and operated by 4 different generations of the Hudson family through the years, current co-owners Todd and Steve Hudson carry on a tradition that they inherited from their father Roger, now retired, his father Howard, and his father Harley.
That's one of our jokes as we go is great-grandpa did all the work, grandpa improved on it, dad kept it running smoothly. Steve and I's job is just don't screw it up. And that's it.
At the turn of the century, the city of Coeur d'Alene took a major blow when Fort Sherman, which once occupied much of the city, closed. By the time Harley Hudson entered town in 1905, things were beginning to heat up. North Idaho historian Robert Singletary.
Really, at the turn of the century, the town was only about 3 blocks long, starting right near where the old fort grounds, right on First Street. And then 2 things happened that caused this boom. One was timber. Huge timber boom. And then tourism, the spot we're standing on. If we could just be standing here in 1907, when Harley started his little restaurant, he called it Missouri Kitchen. And it was a tiny little shack just on the side of a building right across the street. If we could stand here at that point, back of us, right on the lake, would be a brand new depot for the electric railroad that ran from Coeur d'Alene to Spokane. By that time, the train was running 15, 20, 30,000 people showing up on the weekends from around this area. And Harley saw this. He was a businessman and he hit it at the right time.
Essentially, there's been basically 4 locations, and they're all within a block. But what was handy about the location down there, you see the steamboat pictures on the wall, and the Spokane people came with electric trains, and the train was very popular, and it'd be a weekend out, afternoon, daytime trip, and they'd get off the train, which would pull right down on the docks. They'd run up and get a bag of burgers. They'd get on the steamboats and they'd go down to Harrison or St. Mary's for the day and picnic and ride the steamboats.
Interestingly enough, the Missouri Kitchen, renamed the Missouri Lunch in 1932 and then renamed Hudson's Hamburgers in 1963, seems to have kept the winds of change at bay by refusing to give up on what has made it what it is, a subject that never goes unnoticed by either the owners or the regular customers. Sans lettuce, tomato, and a side of fries, the Huddy, as it is affectionately known, is a one-of-a-kind that can be dressed up with cheese, pickles, and onions in Hudson's own special sauce, hot mustard, or ketchup.
Well, what's interesting, when I worked, we would get these questions, why don't you have this? And before I ever had to say anything, someone next to him said, you don't need it. You know, and they defend, and I just continue cooking.
We have a very, very strong local, regular customers, and like he was saying, that's one of the best things about it. When someone comes in and they get all indignant about something we don't have, 8 times out of 10, there's a regular sitting around there that says, boy, you would have came in here back when his grandfather was working, he would have kicked you out by now. Asking those things, and they kind of scoff and, like, whatever. Like, no, he kicked me out first time. Someone else would pop up, and they're like, oh, wow, where am I? This is weird. But it's fun. I mean, they really do defend the place. It's kind of, they take pride in it, and we take pride in it.
I think that first little hamburger stand, probably you could get maybe 8 to 10, maybe 12 people around it. Do you have any idea how many stands there are today?
We had 3 stools, and I don't know, 63.
And that was, that was tough.
So that gives you some idea how busy they are. And if you come up here, sometimes you'll have to stand in line 15, 20 minutes to get a seat. It was sort of the place to be in town. You could go discuss. It was like being in a barber shop, except you could have a hamburger instead of getting your hair cut. And it's an institution. It's an institution.
Thanks, Randy. Have a good day. Stay dry.
If you have an idea for Northwest Profiles, send it to KSPS TV, 3911 South Regal, Spokane, Washington 99223. Northwest Profiles is a presentation of KSPS Public Television.